Hello and welcome to the first ever SilveryCast podcast hosted by Silvery, that's me. I am joined by a lovely crew of people, just whoever you are.
Introduce us, damn it.
No.
Do it.
Salut.
Do it.
Fine.
We will kick you off the SilveryCast.
Nerbert the Go Charmer.
Hi.
Karma.
Hi.
Bitch. Kaisen.
Fuck you. Hey! Not you, Silvery.
Draco.
Off to a good start. Hello, I exist.
Hyperagon.
Ayo.
Penton was here, but I don't know, he might be back.
Hi, Penton.
And with that, we can now start
Hey.
the podcast.
Hey.
Why do you always forget somebody?
Because the last person's never importing.
Rude.
First it was Bishy, now it's me.
So before that's Colleen, by the way. It doesn't matter.
You can't-
So before
Colleen.
before we were all discussing like what should we do for this podcast,
And
Right?
we're still discussing it.
but
And that's exactly what the podcast is about.
yes, this podcast
What are we
is
doing?
about what kind of topics, and I have found a website that has 30 amazing new ideas for podcasts by Laura Jane Martin. And we're just gonna see which one of these appeals to us the most, alright? Anyone
So
have
we
any
could get like 20
And
of them
may
in
or
one
may not be
video.
the subject of the next one.
any questions before we start?
Can we start?
How many are on this list? How
30.
many have I-
I have a question.
Okay, I can do.
What's your question?
Right, so train A leaves the station.
Okay.
Who cares? You're in Canada.
Train A leaves the station at 10 in the morning. Train B leaves 10 minutes later. Train A is traveling 3/4 the speed of train B. How long before the two trains collide?
Who
Yes.
cares?
Yes, that's the answer. Moving on.
Alrighty then. So, everyone.
Wait, I have a question.
Oh my god. What's up?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it that I sorted by getting before this?
That you what?
Yes.
It's not bad.
I'd say about a 5.5.
I don't know, I
That's
go with a
slightly
7.8.
above, that's slightly above average.
I go with a 7.8 out of 10.
Good enough for
7
me.
golden bananas out of Shigeru Miyamoto. Moving
Yeah.
on.
Alright, so without further ado, 30 amazing new ideas for podcasts by Laura Jane Martin. Number 1.
Whoever.
Yeah, I'm sure she's important. Number 1. Podcastaway, a podcast where I silently befriend a volleyball.
Oh shit! Yes, that sounds amazing.
Wouldn't that just be dead air?
Wait, how is that a
No.
podcast?
That's you try to befriend the volleyball in the podcast.
But just
Except-
silently be friends.
It's like a podcast mixed with a movie.
Well,
A silent film.
have the picture!
So I'll put this one down in the maybe category.
you have a volleyball?
Alright, number 2.
That's what's in the
HoQuest,
baby category.
a podcast where we visit each of the area codes in which Ludacris has hoes.
We are pretty spread out though, so we could probably do that.
Right?
50 Cent's got hoes in China, apparently.
Alright.
Okay,
Yeah, but
moving
we don't
on.
have budget for that.
If it's within our budget, which is $0.00, I think we'll be fine.
Whatever I
20
have.
I have
Whatever
25 cents in Steam Cash.
Oh,
I have half a paperclip.
Nerbert, check your undies, see if there's any pennies in there.
Can we buy
Whatever.
anything with half a paperclip?
Whatever's in my bank
We can just
account.
No,
keep
but we can
trading
use-
things.
We can use that if someone asks to pay for us to pay for something. We could use that to stab them in the throat.
Jesus Christ.
They'll never
No.
see it coming.
I like this plan.
Number 3. Podcasts. A podcast where we interview people in full body casts.
Why would she always think something else?
That's probably the best thing I've heard so far.
I don't know, I'm still kind of leaning towards the volleyball one.
Because I just want to see Silvery try to become friends with a volleyball.
But we wouldn't see it because it's a podcast. It'd just be dead air.
You can watch a
Dead air.
podcast.
Dead air. Dead air. Dead air. Dead air. Dead air. Okay,
Okay,
moving on.
number 4, Podcats. A podcast where we interview cats about their favorite cats.
Yes! Yes!
Karma go
All
get your
of
cat.
them choose themselves because cats are lazy, self-righteous snobs.
What
Yes!
if the cats are allergic to cats?
But I'm sure they'll have a lot of insight. Right?
I have a dog though.
A hyperallergenic dog.
Well,
The only
what
cat I
if
know is dead.
Oh,
what if the cats
Aw.
that we are interviewing are allergic to cats?
Oh shit.
And that's sad.
now I'm sad.
Good going, Gregory.
Draco's so sad he's not even saying anything.
Number 5. You
Aw.
need to talk about, we need to
I'm
talk
eating
about
that.
Kevin. A podcast where the guests each week are a couple that finally breaks up by arguing about the movie. We need to talk about Kevin. Have not seen that movie.
Me either.
I've never even heard of that movie.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. We could probably make like it if we do that. We could do like a different movie each week.
I've heard of You, Me, and Dupree, but I don't think that's the same thing.
That's probably not at all. Why? In what universe did you think those movies were the same? They had different titles.
This one, obviously.
It's like, hey, do you have these shoes in a 10? Yeah, sure, let me go check. Yeah, we don't have them in a 10, but we have them in a 9.
Hey, do you have
Whatever.
these do you have these shoes in a 10? No, but we have different shoes in an 11.
Hey!
Why are we working at a shoe store?
That's our new podcast.
Ooh, that's
Is that-
yeah,
is
that's
that-
a good idea.
The shiny shoe store.
Number 6. I wonder what that was about. A podcast where we read the guests' random tweets while off mic, and all the listener hears is their response to the tweets.
We could do that.
I like that. That's how we should record the quotes page thing.
But they don't hear anything we're saying. It's just the responses.
That's what makes
That
it good.
defeats the purpose, though.
That's what
The
makes it
quotes
good.
page
Why don't we
is
just read
for
the quotes
to hear.
page then?
Because that's unoriginal.
Because that's too easy.
That'll take
Also,
3 hours.
Yeah, there's over 700 tweets on twitter.com/quotedshiny_bros.
It could be a 3-part series.
Speaking of
Why
3-part
stop at 3?
series, number
A
7.
trilogy.
That's number 7. Has nothing to do with that.
Speaking of terrible segues,
Reunited for the very first time, a quote-unquote reunion podcast where guests of all different podcasts who mentioned attending their high school or college reunion meet each other for the first time.
None of us have been to went to high school together or college.
actually,
You don't
Cody,
know
what
that.
if I
Have we?
told you?
Not yet.
Karma, don't lie.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, what if I told you I never lived near you?
Okay,
What if
that's
I
not a lie.
told you that I'm going to college with George Washington?
I know you're lying because he's dead.
What if I told
Colleen,
you?
that's a
that-
conspiracy theory.
that-
That's
Say
not
that
what
in front of
I
George
There was a
Washington himself.
not a
Spoilers, I haven't read that
conspiracy.
one yet.
Next thing you're gonna say is Jesus dies.
It's okay, though, because he comes back. And dies again.
I mean, no more spoilers.
I'm not that far yet. I'm only on Genesis.
I'll censor most of this out. Number 8. All of
Okay,
my
Genesis I could have a bleep.
Number 8, all of
Yeah.
my very best vomits. A podcast where we discuss and analyze the in and outs of every single time we have vomited in our lives. No guests.
No.
No guests.
I will vomit.
Well, this one time
How
when
would
I
you
got
vomit?
really sick.
How would you vomit if you wouldn't be in it because there's no guests?
What do you mean, guess?
So that
It's
just
the
means you
vomit.
don't
We're
eat the host.
interviewing the vomit.
I got pretty close to vomiting this morning.
Oh my god, do tell.
My girlfriend vomited up blood a few days ago.
No,
Oh
it's
my god,
Nurburgring.
I want to hear that one more than the Nurburgring.
What? It's really that simple.
Is that it? There's no
Yeah.
reason as to why?
She was sick.
Oh, well now I'm sad.
Sick of you. Ooh.
Ooh, number 9.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen for a long time. She's overly affectionate.
Number 9, Tell Me Pie, a weekly podcast where people discuss pie the food for 3.1415 minutes.
Oh, yes. Put that in the yes pile. I want to do that. We have like I got it. Like the first one's apple pies. Like, how does everybody feel about apple pies? Like, yep. All right, there.
How
Right.
the fuck are we gonna do that for 3 point whatever seconds?
I got
Minutes.
this.
Maybe if you listen to the podcast that was happening right before your eyes,
Wait.
you would know.
Wait. This isn't a podcast. This is the SilveryCast.
Right, where am I?
So why are we reading a list of podcasts?
Number 10, Your Fire, a podcast where we interview different fires of great historical significance.
What aren't half
It's on
those
interviewing
fires
the
out by
Chicago
now?
one.
What? We could interview the fire that burnt down the White House?
That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, that
I
has.
can high five it
Yeah, it has.
because Canada.
That happened
Done
with
Chicago fire.
with when John Adams was in office.
Yeah.
And then the British were like, we burnt down the White House, and then they had a camp out at the White House, and then a tornado came by and killed all of them.
They didn't burn down the whole
I don't
thing.
remember
They
that
burned down
because
part of it, and then they were like, we're gonna camp here, and God had other plans.
I don't remember that in the history books.
Well, you're Canadian. Number 11, WWJ Don WTF, a podcast where many different people with various occupations theorize about how Jesus Christ would answer Mark's questions on his WTF podcast.
Who?
I don't know who that is.
What's a
I don't know who any of
podcast?
those people are.
Great.
All I
not
know
even,
is
not even
SilveryCast.
Jesus Christ.
Who?
Alright.
I know
He
Jesus
doesn't die,
Murphy.
does he?
That one's
I know
going in
Jesus
the waste
Murphy.
of time pile. Number 12. If
Died
these
for
walls
maple syrups.
If These Walls Could Talk, a podcast where we interview all of the walls that Mark Wahlberg has punched, kicked, or thrown people through in movie trailers. Every time someone gets thrown into a wall, we play a honky horn sound and say that they've been Wahlberged.
That's gonna take forever.
Again, budget.
We could go all the way back to Marky Mark and the Monkey.
Oh my god, this next one. Is that... Do we... Also, the Wahlberg has a little trademark symbol next to it.
Oh god.
So we're gonna get sued for saying that. Anyway. Number 13, Cakewalk, a podcast where our guest takes us on a tour of their neighborhood while we discuss the long, frustrating, and entangled history of every television show about cake. That includes Ace of Cakes, Wedding Cake Wars, Amazing Wedding Cakes, Cake Boss, Ultimate Cake Off, Cake Bake, Mace Loves Cake, Cake Cases, Cold Cake, Caked, Monster Cakes, Cakes of Supreme Court, Cakes, You're My Biggest Miss Cake, and Sex Cake.
They don't
Sex
ha- I don't-
cake?
Sex Cake.
I don't think half of those are real.
I've
I
been
know.
a guest on Sex Cake, so
I-
I beg to differ.
I know 2 of those.
Yeah, You're My Biggest
I
Miss Cake.
love Cake Boss.
I do too.
Mi Familia. That's all I know from that show.
They're
And they make
Italian.
cake.
They live in Hoboken.
That was Spanish.
Yeah, but that's Hoboken.
Anyway,
I guess that's all.
NPR. No, wait, NP, Are You There, God? It's me, Margaret. A podcast...
Wait, what number is this?
14. A podcast where I ask NPR hosts to discuss their religious beliefs with me and then read excerpts of the Judy Blume novel, Are You There, God? It's me, Margaret. So far, I've got Peter Segal and the Magliolizzi brothers from Car Talk. Fingers
What the fuck
crossed.
is up with all this religious shit?
Fingers crossed for Terry Gross and Lakshmi Singh. Oh, fuck. Wasted my time.
do you guys know what that Judy Blume book is about?
Yeah, it's about God and Margaret.
No, it's about a girl getting her period for the first time.
Well, that idea just went from check minus to check plus.
All the she talks about how she wants all the girls in her class are getting their period and she hasn't gotten hers yet, so she prays to get it.
That poor unfortunate soul.
Poor unfortunate
Dun 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 dun.
Number 15. Any questions? A 4-hour-long weekly podcast where,
Oh, hell no.
along with my co-host, I answer the rhetorical questions from pop songs. Episode 1. How's it gonna be? Does anyone care? Are you that somebody? Who let the dogs out? Spoiler alert. Okay, yes, no, it was Philip.
Okay, never mind. I actually like this podcast
Are
idea.
you gonna stay the
Oh, it's wrong now.
Who let the dogs out? Anybody?
No.
Oh.
A spoiler alert, it was Philip. Great.
What Philip are we talking?
I don't know, but I don't have to listen to this podcast now because they gave us the answers.
I am Philip.
Podcast. We're in the SilveryCast.
Number.
I don't think we know where we are
I think
anymore.
this one's probably either going in the yes or the no category. There's no in between with this one. The dude, the guy, the dude bro, and the other guy. A podcast where you literally have no idea who is speaking at any given time.
That's like us on a daily basis.
Except
I like that one a lot.
put that in the yes pile.
Alright, nice. Next one. What is that one? 18. A food competition, you burnt. A food competition podcast where the contestants attempt to make 3 angry judges a meal in less than 4 minutes. Ted Allen describes the food. I describe Ted Allen's eye rolls. The loser is burnt to death.
I like that one.
The question is the user burnt with a steak?
Who is
I get it. That was funny.
who is Ted Allen though?
He's on Food Network. He's gay.
Alright,
He pulls his eyes a lot.
I'll put a picture of him in post unless I forget.
You're gonna forget.
Which is pretty. Yeah, you're gonna forget.
Number
Guys, I
19.
can tell you. I have something very important.
Oh, okay, sorry, Draco.
What is it, Draco?
I'm leaving.
Aww.
Draco's dead!
Ladies and gentlemen, Draco!
It's
Has
gone.
left the building.
Number 19.
Draco's theme song now.
Number 19. And here's the kicker. A podcast where we ambush people who kick professionally. Karate instructors, football players, kickboxers, rescue swimmers, and forcibly give them a makeover.
Does that involve removing their kicking foot?
No, of course not. I love how one of the professional kickers on this list is rescue swimmers. This is very vague and weird. Number 20, Host Hour. An hour-long podcast where anyone can be a guest as long as they are also the host of the podcast.
Alright.
That's okay.
How does that work?
Isn't that how we're doing things right now?
No, I am always the host.
What the fuck are we?
You're my lovable band of misfits.
I
Alright.
thought you were gonna say lovers, and I was
Also,
no.
Colleen's here.
What the fuck, Silvery?
Number 21, Frogcast, a podcast about decorating with frogs. Some of the
Yes.
decorations are
Yes,
for
yes,
your
yes,
home,
yes,
and some are for your office. Some of the frogs are real, and some are not real.
Ew.
But it's a surprise.
Yeah, you don't know until you decorate your office.
You're just like, oh hey, look at this fake frog, and then it jumps on your face.
Surprise, Colleen! We redecorated your bedroom!
Ah.
Move that bus.
I would be pissed if my entire house was like full of frogs
If
if I
your house
got,
was just
like,
one very large frog.
yeah, for extreme makeup for home
Bus
edition.
driver. Move
That show-
that
that show-
bus! The entire
Oh
house is
god, move
gone.
it back!
The bus
Move
is
it back.
gone. The house is gone. There's just a big pond full of bullfrogs.
I would
think
like
that's like
that.
my
And we
I would.
tore up your mortgage.
22. Left part or right part? A podcast that features a frank roundtable discussion of pre-1970s men's haircuts.
I'd be down with that.
Okay.
What?
It's a roundtable discussion of pre-1970s men's haircuts.
So 60s.
No.
Or 50s or 40s.
That could mean the 1820s, you insensitive prick.
Silvery.
Silvery.
Escalated far too quickly.
Sorry. I forgot my blood sugar.
And now the Silvery Cast is over, and now we're back to the shiny. Now we're back to the shiny podcast.
What is that? That was never a thing.
You're never a thing.
You're banned from the SilveryCast.
I'm still here.
Oh.
Flash kick.
23. Film Buffs. A podcast for nudist cinephiles.
I think
Yes,
Herbert
I
could
can
get
follow
down
that.
with that one.
Yep, I'm in.
That went in a direction I'm sure none of you were prepared for.
I was not
I
prepared
was
for that.
prepared, but
I'm always prepared for nudity.
This man knows. Agron, you have officially won the SilveryCast Gold Star for this episode.
All of my clothes are tearaway. I have so many buttons on me.
Colleen, let's go to Canada.
20,
Okay then.
24. Dun dun. A podcast hosted by every single day player from Law & Order SVU, and Law & Order CI.
Aw, but my favorite Law and Order guy is dead. Now what do we do?
As if we could get anybody from Law and Order on the Silvery Cast.
Yeah, I have already sent them letters. I was actually, fun fact, I was on SVU before. I was an extra.
Lucky duck.
Yeah, I got paid.
Really?
I don't know how much I got paid, because before I could take it, my parents took the paycheck and put it in the fucking bank.
Oh, no.
Alright, number 25.
Asshole.
Number 25, A Voice in the Darkness, a hard-hitting street-style documentary podcast that takes a behind-the-scenes... choking on a cock!
Oh no.
Who's
A
cock?
hard-hitting street-style documentary podcast that takes a behind-the-scenes look at the making of a new podcast each week.
Isn't that what this is right now?
Yeah, kind of.
yep, so,
We already
check that
beat
one
them
off.
to it.
Check that one off.
29
We
more to
check
go.
that off the podcast bucket list.
SilveryCast.
That's crap.
Oh, even Silvery doesn't know anymore. This is total anarchy. Tom and cats living together.
Number 26, Podcastic. A
I
podcast
hate
where
this one already.
a podcast where we interview other podcasts. Spoiler alert, skip all the live ones. Technically,
Okay.
all podcasts are live at some point,
Yeah,
Well,
this is true.
so just skip all of them.
But what if they're hosted by cartoon characters?
ooh.
Is it still live?
Do those exist?
They should be.
Done. We'll invent it.
Yeah.
I'll be background fish number 3 on SpongeBob. My leg.
I'll be Chowder.
Not allowed.
Why?
Because the jury doesn't rule in
Can I
favor
be-
of it.
Can I be Panini?
Nope.
I'll be Yvonne of the Yukon.
You got it.
Damn it, Akron.
I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not your boyfriend.
I just said no!
Too late.
No,
It's
Chowder
recorded.
sung that.
No, Pate sung that.
I wanted to be Chowder first.
Number 27. Did We Start? A podcast entirely devoted to discussing the exact moment the podcast that is currently in progress began.
I'm totally fine with that. Let's just start recording and just say go.
That's not far off what we're doing now. That we could easily do that.
Yeah.
Check that one off too. That's 2 down.
Oh my god.
We're zooming through this.
8 more and we get a free sandwich.
Good, I'm hungry.
Number 28, Roll the Credits. A podcast in which my guest and I ingest the illegal street drug MDMA and then watch the closing credits for our favorite movies. We will discuss precisely how the credits are making us feel, with updates every few seconds. We will not discuss how the MDMA makes us feel, though, so don't ask.
We need to do Marvel movies because there's always at least a secret scene at the end.
No, because that's not
We're
the
not gonna
credits.
ingest drugs and then watch the end
Do
credits.
you realize what you just said, Colleen? We're not watching stuff that happens after the credits. We're only watching the credits.
Aww.
Only the words as they flicker down the screen, and only the videos that pop up as the words flicker down the screen.
Do opening credits count? Ah.
Oh, they're not end credits.
Colleen, who invited you?
Silvery.
You did.
I said in the thing, closing credits. Number 29, It Tasted So Cool. A podcast where one guest describes their favorite Instagrammed meal to another guest whose home is in a developing country that is plagued by starvation.
Can we take a double take
Ethiopia,
with that
here we
one?
come.
Oh,
Nick
God.
should be good at that one. Because he shits on African children.
When
Well,
did this happen?
'Cause he has
Not
3
after
weeks-
he does that
3
after
weeks,
he puts
1
whipped
DSs.
cream on them.
That was a thing that happened at a stream a while ago where I was playing Yellow and Nick was talking about how he sold his Wii U to buy the Zelda one, and everyone was like, that's where the whole Nick has 2 Wii U thing started. And I was like, you are doing the equivalent of seeing an African kid, a hungry African kid. You have a Big Mac, you eat it in front of him and then shit on his face.
Jesus Christ.
This is one of our oldest jokes.
Why are we talking about Nick?
Oh my god, special guest, Kaisen.
Godzilla.
This has been here.
Godzilla, straight from Texas.
I was in the intro.
I was gonna say Tokyo, but then I don't want them to think that we actually got Godzilla and that we have a budget, because then we have absolutely no reason to not have the Law and Order podcast be a thing.
We've
Dun-dun.
already established that our budget is half a paperclip.
Not even a full
Alright, the
If we don't want
30th,
them to know that, we better cut our podcast from the moon.
the
It's not a
30th,
podcast.
it's
It's
a,
the SilveryCast.
the 30th and final idea for a podcast. OMG, you have to see it. A podcast for the cult following of every single television show.
Oh, that's gonna take years.
Oh god.
They kind
Let's
of
get
dropped
started
the
right
ball
now.
with that last one.
Yeah, it wasn't as entertaining. It was-
Okay, we are for sure doing that pie one though, right?
What about pie?
We got to
Yeah,
the
the
pie
pie
one
one.
So
and the when did we
we're
start
going
one.
to be doing Tell Me Pie, a weekly Godzilla. Since you weren't here, I'll explain it again. A weekly podcast where people discuss pie, the food, for 3.1415 minutes.
Okay then.
What other ones are we doing?
When did we start?
That one's good. I want to do
Wait, we started already?
yeah. I want to do sure, where's the name for that one? The dude, the guy, the dude bro, and the other guy.
The dude, bro. I love that name.
It's four guys talking, but you have no idea who's who.
So we just record ourselves on a normal
Can I be
day.
the dude, bro?
Yes, always.
Yes.
So it'll be the Blues Clues podcast all over again.
That wasn't a podcast. That was
an accident. A happy accident.
That was
Just like my birth.
That was a candid
Just
thing.
like Silvery.
Oh no!
Aww.
Can't say. I'm gonna replace that with Nick in post.
Are you?
Probably
Just
not.
like Nick.
Just like Nick.
Quick, Norbert, say Nick.
No.
Draco.
Alright, so any other
Oh,
concerns, comments?
can we do the film buff one?
The nudist one? No!
Not nude. Okay, yes, nudists, but they're also cinephiles.
Agrod, you got this.
We just sit around naked and talk about movies.
Get my coat for that.
We have a thing randomly where at any point of the podcast, It's Raining Men could come on.
It's rain, man. Hallelujah.
I want that song played at my funeral.
While you're getting grounded in a wood chipper and your body's just like flying everywhere, so it's literally raining.
That'd be a rating, Norbert.
Just your chopped up
It's rain.
That's either how I want to go or how I want my dead body to be disposed of.
No, then like your arm
One or
just
the
get all
other.
ground up and it lands in front of a little girl.
I want this to be taken. Like, I want this to take place.
Like a
on
little
peaceful
girl sitting there eating ice cream and my eyeball falls in it.
And then she eats the eyeball.
This all needs to take place in like a preschool playground. Little bits of you will land
Just like
in
in
like
the
a mulch.
middle of elementary school.
You wanna get buried in a preschool playground.
In the middle of recess too, so like, you know, during the ceremony, you know, like if the whoever's like officiating the ceremony gets hit in the head with a dodgeball.
He gets fed up and just shreds the dodgeball. Oh, can that be our
Also
podcast?
the volleyball thing though.
Can we make this our podcast? Taking dead bodies and putting them in a wood chipper in various locations.
Yeah, we need different ways of disposing.
That would be Nerbert's show for the channel.
Why wasn't that?
Nerbert.
That's number 31. It needs a name.
You kids want to see a dead body?
I like it.
Give him a post to rotten.com.
Yeah, it has to be one with a population of children.
Colleen, don't plug Rotten.com.
I am plugging.
Can we plug Ron Jeremy?
Can we plug
Yes.
that black guy that you and Draco laugh at?
Jermaine Davis. So we're plugging Ron Jeremy, Jermaine Davis, and Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Isn't it just Kevin James?
Check out
No.
their YouTube channels in the
Can we
description.
talk about how in most of Kevin James' movies he gets a girl that's way too hot for him?
That's pretty much any movie with like anyone from Grown Ups.
Well, that was like the whole premise of his show too. The King of Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin
He's
James.
built his career upon getting women hotter than him, too hot for him.
Yeah.
He has
Good
some
on
really
you.
good stand-up though.
It
Standing
gives
standing
other people
standing
hope.
ovation for Kevin James.
Yeah, I like the movie Zookeeper.
I liked We Bought a Zoo, but that's not a funny movie.
I like We Bought a Zoo.
And this has been Silvery's Brainstorm Cast.
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Oh,
I will tell
Are we
you when
done
we're
yet?
done.
Are we
Are we
Can that be the
Yeah.
podcast instead of when did we start? Are we done yet?
No,
I'm
we
not
can't
done.
because that's a copyrighted Ice Cube movie. It's
least
the
you got the
sequel to
logo.
Are We There Yet, starring Ice
Ice
Cube.
Cube. Yeah.
He pours it on.
No, that's
That's
Ice
Ice-T.
Tea.
Nice tea.
No, they both
Yeah.
pour it, but in completely different ways.
Oh my.
He pours on the ham with evil deer
Right.
and raccoons.
You don't know what's happening anymore.
Does
Speaking
anyone,
of
Yeah,
raccoons,
this should probably end.
does anyone
Yeah.
have any other comments or concerns or anything?
Still didn't get
Can
an
we
answer to the
record the
train
next-
question.
yes.
Any other? Anything?
Nope.
I found a piece of tennis ball in a drawer,
Alright, thank you.
and I'm now
Thank
stabbing
you all
it.
for
I'm now
tuning in
stabbing
for
it with
this
push pins.
incredible episode for the SilveryCast. I promise you next episode we may or may not have an actual theme.
I think this was a good theme.
But until then, Agron,
Stay beautiful, people.